Yo, this is another episode of the Steven from the Old Time Podcast. Listen to my dad, he's awesome.
A lot of people have been asking me where Malenko is. Why hasn't he been on the episodes? So I decided to start off the podcast with some information. Unfortunately, I needed to let Malenko go. And for the reason that he was too much of a Sami Zayn and Bryan Danielson fan. So unfortunately, Malenko will no longer be on this podcast. No, all jokes aside, Malenko is.
Don't do Sami Zayn and Bryan Danielson like that. Bryan Danielson just had his last match. All right, against John Moxley.
No, but in all honesty, Malenko is no longer on this podcast because he's horrendous with time management. No, he's actually editing all the episodes, but he has something in the works coming up. So yeah, he's still here. Malenko, you're still here. Edit my episode. On that note, welcome to a new episode of Steven from the All Time Podcast. I am your host, the Ayatollah of Hip Hop, the whole damn show, the rated R podcaster, the visionary, the revolutionary, and the voice of the voiceless. And we bring you nothing but the best in hip hop and rap and wrestling, all combined in one, with my co-host this evening.
You already know who it is, the V-neck Lord, the Black Eric Bischoff, the leader and ruler of the podcast world, love of everything EO Sky, one half of the podcast tag team champions. It is co-host of all co-hosts, Trap All Time. Remember, I am better than you, and you know it. But before we get to him with this episode, please take time out and like and subscribe. Please like and subscribe. Thank you very much. We appreciate everything. We like, comments, all of that good stuff. So we're going to give you 5 seconds for that. And we're back.
Before we start, Trap, I just want to give a big shout out to a friend of mine who gave me this T-shirt that I am beyond ecstatic for. All right, I never like to show off my T-shirts on the pod, but my friend is a drummer in a metal band with one of the coolest, if not the best, logo in all genres of music. Bob Mars now. Carl, from the Abyss podcast, I really appreciate you. This shirt is fucking phenomenal.
That's fire. That's
phenomenal. Fire. Phenomenal.
When you came on with it, I was like, wait a minute. I was about to ask you, what is that? That's fire.
It's fucking phenomenal. And the quality is epic. It's epic. Before we get started again, we're going to get this out of the way now. Unfortunately, today, we heard the news of the passing of the Brownsville MC Ka. Some tragic news came out on Instagram that we saw. I got a couple of text messages from a couple of friends, and it sucks when artists pass away. Artists that you've connected with, artists that you listen to their music and that hold a special place in your heart, just in the whole music industry and, you know, growing up listening to their music and stuff like that. It just really, really sucks.
Another legend of the underground. You know
absolutely. And he was a pillar in this culture. He created his own lane in hip hop. Yep. This man is probably one of the best poets, one of the best lyricists, one of the best skilled MCs. Pen to paper, one of the best. And it just really sucks
Yeah,
The
you
passing.
could tell he definitely was because you could tell by the caliber of artist who was, paying their respect and showing like it was a lot of like legit real MCs who know like his pen was like that.
Well, if you listen to Ka's music, there was really no one like him. I just
No.
said he created his own lane for this stuff. Like the dude was a poet,
Right.
and we reviewed the last album, "The Thief Next to Jesus," that came out this year,
Hmm.
and
Yeah, you did do that. You did review that. Yeah.
yeah, and like the dude was elite. It's crazy, but he was elite, and there was no one like him, man. And a lot of people looked up to him, but not only him as the MC or him as the poet, the lyricist, but him as a human being. He was also a fighter. Sorry, and
Yes.
what he did for his community,
Hmm.
and did for the people, and just he was a genuine guy. Like I never got the opportunity to meet him, but like this was a really really good dude, and for hip hop to have somebody like this and to have lost somebody like this, it's a tragic loss. It's a tragic loss, and we
Definitely.
nothing but condolences to the family of Ka. We'll hold you in our prayers. We'll keep repping you and your music. And for anybody out there, really, that listens to hip hop, listens to any genre of music, any genre of hip hop, whether you listen
Hmm.
to Gucci Mane, whether you listen to Rock Marciano, whether you listen to fucking Post Malone, I don't care what you listen to. I think Ka is one of those artists that people need to listen to and listen to it for what it is, the
Right.
poetry, what being an MC is all about. Like we read books about MCs, we watch documentaries about MCs, like guys like Rakim. Like you could put Ka in the same category as Rakim, Big Daddy Kane, those style of lyricists, the people that changed the game, had their own lane, and made
Hmm.
lyricism what it is today. Like Scarface, Ice Cube, those guys. Like
Hmm.
you know, uh,
100%.
yeah, and
Pillars.
yeah, absolutely, 110%, and he deserves all the credit uh, that he's getting. And it sucks, a lot of people pass away and then that's when they get their flowers, but not this man. He's always been getting his flowers, he's always been getting his
Definitely.
respect. And the thing that we could do, uh, as just having this podcast, or what we could do in the hip-hop culture, is just push his music forward and make sure that people get the opportunity to listen to his
Yeah.
music. And
To
the
people who
great
didn't who know already. But you, like I said, on this podcast, you've been pushing them. Like I said, you reviewed something earlier this year. So hopefully more people did get a chance to listen and get to know him.
And if I could put one person on Cause Music, if I could put 10 people, 15, 20, 30, 1,000 people on Cause Music, I think it's important because everybody needs to listen to what his music is. And the great thing about his music is his albums are not a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 listen and then you move on. This is something that just keeps growing when you're listening to it. Like I can put on one of his albums that I listen to 1,000 times, and I'll still learn something from it. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's
I know
what
what you mean.
that's what's so amazing about his music, and I just want to give a shout out to Blast Beats and Boom Bap, somebody from Montreal, who went to the pop up a couple of weeks ago, and
Mm,
got me a bunch of his CDs. And
nice.
to be able to have his accomplishments, everything he's done. Now that I'm able to own that and have that forever, and being able to pass that on to a friend or pass that on to my son or daughter when as they get older and they want to get into the music that their father has gotten into, I'm able to give them that now. And I'm able to own this piece of art that this man gave to us on this earth. So thank you, Blast
Right.
Beats and Boom Bap. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Again,
Mm,
condolences to the family of Ka. We will keep pushing your music forward.
definitely.
So why are we here tonight, Trap?
Oh, man. You already know why we here. We're here to discuss hip hop. Yo, I can't even lie. This year, a lot of good stuff. I know we find ourselves saying that over and over, but it's the truth though. Like being the music lovers that we are and the artists that we enjoy so much that constantly drop. Like this has been a really good year for hip hop. You know what I'm saying? Like not like outside of the Drake and the mainstream, beef that everybody's concentrated on, but like as far as just the the quality of rap music that came out this year has been really good. Even like from the Dochi to the lot like Future Waves, Daniel Son, Dochi. It's so even the female artists are flourishing, which I thought was great. Like Dochi put out a good album. Um,
Who's Dochi?
phenomenal. She signed to TDE. She's from
Oh
Florida.
yes. Okay.
Yes, you got to listen to her album. She's really good. She put out a phenomenal project. One of
Gucci Mane
my
put out a really good mixtape this year. Schoolboy Q.
Schoolboy Q, Blue
Uh,
Chips,
there's a lot of great
Mickey
music coming out.
Diamond, but that's every year with Mickey Diamond. We listen, if one thing you get from this podcast, we always gonna tell you to listen to Mickey Diamond. If you've been listening to this podcast enough and you still haven't went and listened to Mickey Diamond, you're doing yourself a disservice. And I would advise you to go and listen to that guy. That like not just him though, his whole umbrella camp.
Oh
You
man,
gotta
it's
listen to Pro.
crazy.
You gotta listen to Pro Dillinger. You gotta listen to Sign.
Josiah the Gift,
Yeah, it's just so
Jamil
many.
Honesty, Big
Jamila
Trip.
Honesty, Big Trip.
There's so
Oh
much great
man,
quality music. Mac Nice, there's so
Mac.
much great music, and it's crazy because I always think of, okay, what are we gonna review? What are we gonna go listen to, and
Yeah,
really, put that shit on like in our minds and be able to talk about it, and not always focus on the same artist, but we
right.
we can't because they're just putting out such great
Such a
pieces of
great
work.
work. And not only that, too, I feel like not even just them, it's just so much good music that came out. Like I can't even think of all the artists. It's so much, you have to take time with the music.
Hmm.
So like I appreciate them that don't put out as much, but they give you that album so you can sit with it and don't come right back. Like we need to bring that back. But I
Hmm.
think because we're living in this new computer era, people want to get the streams and stuff. But like, see what Rome Streetz did with this last album. I like what he did. He put out singles,
You
gave you the album.
you are somebody that always sends me the singles and I refuse to listen
I
to it.
know,
And we always go
but
back and forth. You're a
always
let's get on to that before we jump into this Rome Streets and
listen
Dillinger album. You're really into singles. Explain to me why.
because it brings you back to the old school, how you lead up to an album and you anticipate an album. It's like, okay, how's the first single looking? And then you listen to it. And that was a time when the single would carry you over until the album dropped. And then that same single would still carry you over while the album is out. Then you'll drop another single. That's how you keep an album relevant for a year or 2 years, as opposed to, all right, I'm not going to give you a single. I'm going to put the album out, whatever, you're gonna like it. Then I got to come back again. You understand what I'm saying?
I,
It
I
gives
I
it
I
gives
get
you
your
it gives you
point.
time, but that's back in the day.
But I get your point, and we spoke about
So,
this already. I feel like we're having the same conversation for like the 15th time. But I just find that you can't put out too many singles
oh yeah, of course,
because of the fact that people all use those singles in today's age as playlist songs,
that's the only issue.
right? So,
But that's the era we live in. So like you got to weigh your pros and cons. But I like when he does that, and then he gave me the album, and then he gave me a bonus track with West Side Gun,
we're
fire.
gonna we're gonna get into that. And
But
look, I'm
I
gonna
I appreciate that. I appreciate the artwork. That like it shows that you're the quality of it. I appreciate the artwork. I appreciate the details of it. I appreciate knowing who produced the songs, everything like that. Like I miss that.
No, I
But
get what you're saying. I like the one single. When you put out one
mhm,
single, then you let
yeah,
me
of
wait for
course.
the album, put out the album,
Hmm.
and then we could digest it. We could go into it and really like. I like more of the music videos, like giving me the music videos so I can get a
Okay.
visual of what the album is gonna portray us or like what we're gonna
Right.
get like unveil to us.
Yeah.
But like too many singles, I just get lost. I'm just like, put out the fucking damn album and let's listen to
Oh
it.
yeah, of course. Yeah. I
So
agree.
let's
Not too
start
many
off
singles.
with the first review of the evening. Rome Streetz and Dillinger, Hatton
Oh
Garden
yes.
Holdup. This
Rome
is
Street and Derringer.
14 songs, 44 minutes, and we're gonna get into the tracks. So first of all, expectation. You're getting Rome Street's he's an elite MC, and
Yeah,
for years
he's the number one NYC spitter for the
and
last couple of years.
for years he's been just putting out relevant, quality pieces of music. Last year, Noise Candy 5 was in my top
Of
10.
course. Yeah, that was in my top too.
Like Wasn't Built in a Day came out last year with Big Ghost, another
Big
fucking
Ghost,
phenomenal project. The year before, he put out Kiss the Ring,
Chris the
Razor's
Ring,
Edge, uh,
Razor's Edge. It's
all.
so much, so much.
My favorite thing about Rome Streets is when he gets with that one producer, okay, and Derringer being the one producer that he linked up for this album. Uh, and Derringer, we know what he's about. We know what he's done with Griselda, with the camp, what he's done with Action Bronson. We know him for that sound. So when I went into this album with no expectations, I just listened to it from front to back. On the first listen, I'll be honest, I enjoyed it, but it was just what it was.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I kept going back. There was the songs that stuck out. I love that this album has Schoolboy Q on it, on
Mm-hmm.
Sage,
And then Mayhem Larim.
on
I like that
Cadillac
song.
Smoke.
The Cadillac Smoke. I like that.
Yeah, Protro. What is it? Protro? Is that what it is? Yeah, Protro with Conway the Machine.
I love when him and Conway the Machine get on songs together.
Yeah, and they always sound great together.
Oh yeah, Weight of the World with Cormega.
Weight of the World with Cormega. Having Cormega, another New York MC, be on this project with Rome Streets, and we know Cormega, and we know the type of artist that he is, and we know who he works with. He doesn't work with a lot of people. When he works with somebody, it's because he respects that person's art, that person's music. He respects that person as a lyricist. And when I press play. Okay, I'm on the Malenko train. Pause. I pressed play, and I didn't look at the featurings, and I just let the album ride. And when I heard that Cormega, I was just like, wow. And Cormega sounds so great on a Derringer beat. Sounds so great. But I just want to get through my first listen, and the ones after that, I was just like, yeah, it's a good album. It's a really good album with some really good songs. That's it. And last week, on Friday, there was a bonus track that became song 6, Black Widow, with West Side Gun. And that song being an addition to the album, for some reason, kind of opened up the album more to me. I was able to, like, it felt like there was a missing piece of the puzzle to that album.
Right. And I felt like he put it with West Side Gun. I ain't gonna front, I kind of felt the same way. I'm like, where's West Side Gun?
But you like this is West Side Gun 2018, 2019. Right. Like, I'm gonna start off the song, I'm gonna start off the track, and I'm just gonna make it my own. And he did that exactly. So this kind of added more substance to the album. But I'm more interested in the album now. I don't know why. Because as of the first listen to where we are now with this project, I love this project. And I'm not taking anything away from Rome Streetz. I'm not taking anything away from Rome Streetz, because he is a amazing lyricist. I think it's just I wanted more from the production, but the production is there. It's just this album is something that you need to go listen to numerous times for you to be able to get everything that it's giving, because
Right.
Rome Street's lyricism and his flow and how he gives you those bars kind of overpowers what the production is. So the production just sits there.
Okay, I kind of see what you're saying. I felt it was the other way. I felt not that the production was bad. I just felt like he was overpowering me. I felt like his rhyming was just overpowering the beats over the production. I felt the other way. But with that being said, Drive By, Cadillac Smoke, 1,000 Schemes, and Protro. Oh, and Jimmy's Headband. Those are like some of my favorite songs from that album already. Because like I said, I listen to it in the gym. So I just put it on in the gym and I just play that while I'm working out, boom, in the gym. And every time you listen to it, it get better and better because Rome Streetz is one of those guys too. You got to catch the bars. You're not going to catch them on the first listen.
No.
You understand what I'm saying? So when you go back and listen to a song, you be like, oh shit, he said that? Like, he said that. Like, he's like, what he said, one of those, he said, I caught the sign like the ace of base. And I'm just like, ooh, because that's the name of the band.
Yeah.
That song, The Sign. So I was just like, yo.
Yeah, just crazy punchlines from him, but he's just so razor sharp with just the way he gives you those bars, man. It's just like I don't even know how to explain it. I've always brought him back to like Big L. The way Big L was able to give you his bars and his rhyme pattern and his punchlines. Rome Streetz is in that same category. And that's why I think a lot of people respect him, because he's very sharp. He's very, it's like, I don't know how to explain it. It's like the way he ends it off, or the way he's going to give it to you. Pause. That's,
I always say he attacked the track like he going for broke every time. And that's what I like about him too.
Yeah.
He don't leave no room on the track. He gonna go and rap, and he's gonna fill every void of the track, and I like that about him.
He's
technical, right? And he's gonna give you something every time. It's not gonna be filler or whatever in between. He's going every time.
He's technical, but he's not technical. You get what I mean?
And he got punchlines.
Exactly. Like he's more of the Kurt Angle versus more of being the Bret Hart. You get what I mean? Like Kurt Angle was able to give you everything, and Bret Hart was able to just give you the technical side of wrestling. You know what I mean?
Yo, what's with the Bret Hart slander? Everybody got a problem with Bret Hart.
Songs to me that stick out on here. I'm going with Starbucks.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna go with Spike, SpaceX. You said Jimmy's Headband, Way to the World was featuring Cormega, 100 Schemes. Like,
said that.
The album starts off slow, and then, I don't know, like I told you.
It picks up. It just gets better.
Number
like
6.
Off, and then it's like it starts off here, and then it just goes. And it's like, oh, shit.
And that's what song 6 with West Side Gun did. Right? This was the album before that song. It's like, okay. And then it kind of cut it in half and gave you that climax pause. Do I say pause after climax or no? No, it's okay.
You don't say pause after that.
Okay. And then it just it just finished off super strong. Really,
you gotta learn when to put your pauses at.
Yeah,
I'm gonna teach you.
I just say pause at everything first. Even at work, I've been saying it a lot, and I see people that look at me and be like, "What does that mean? Why are you saying pause? We're in 2024. What does that mean? Can you explain to me, Steven?"
You gotta say the white person version. That's on. What's it called? That's what she said.
Fucking, that's the nerd version.
That's what she said.
So yeah, you know what? This album keeps getting better and better with every listen, and we're gonna give our top. We're gonna get into our top 5 favorite Rome Streetz albums and what we think are the best Rome Streetz albums. I'm not gonna put this in my top 5, but in the next year, this could be part of that top 5 because he has a really strong catalog. Like his catalog is just like I was looking at it when I was doing my top 5, and I'm just like,
me too.
Like hold on a second. Like Street Pharmacy, that's the first album I
Right.
ever heard
That's the
from him.
first ever. I first heard him on Big Ghost shit too. Yeah.
Like the shitty when he used to be on the Big Ghost projects
Hmm.
on that compilation that they did.
Yeah, the compilation that they did. Yeah, bro.
Genesis 127 with Uncle
Buck
John.
50, Buck 50 EP was last year. Noise Candy. No, that was this year. Buck 50
Yeah,
EP.
yeah, with Wavy the God.
Wavy to God. I love Wavy to God too. That's my man.
But like I was
Yo,
looking,
Coop the Grace
with Ransom.
with Ransom.
It's like, how do you make a top
Like,
five?
yeah.
Okay, so let's do
Grace's Edge, Genesis,
It's just
Death and a Magician, Contraband. I
yeah.
don't know, bro.
Okay, so you want to go first? You want me to go first with my top five Rome Streets albums?
I'll go first. I'll go first.
Okay, go. Sorry, with number five.
Oh man, I can't. It's hard to do this, bro. But I'm gonna go with number five. I'm going with Head Crack 2019.
Futurewave,
2019.
fully produced
2019
by
Head Crack.
Futurewave.
Head Crack was that shit. So I gotta go with that. That's number five. I'm going with Death and the Magician. Bro, him and what's the name on this together was so ill.
On Death
DJ
and the Magician.
Muggs.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was DJ Muggs.
fully produced by
Bro,
DJ Muggs.
really, yeah, that's what I mean. Him and DJ Stone Cold Soul shooting at the dance hall. Like, bro. Oh man, it was so much on Death and the Magician. So that's number four for me. Number three. Oh my God, bro. I gotta go with Coop. No, I'm going with Kiss the Ring
Mm-hmm.
2022. That right there, I feel like that right there kind of put Rome Streets almost, I want to say mainstream. Like that put him solidified him on the map to to more general audience outside of his core and the underground audience. Like that put him on. And which was to me, I thought it was one of the best albums in the last decade and 5 years. Because Kiss the Ring gave you everything. It gave you that feel of what people keep saying they want in artists these days. He gave you the
Mm-hmm.
storytelling. He gave you the girl record. He gave you choruses. He gave you the gutter records. He gave you the retrospective records.
There was a trap record on there, I think,
Right.
with Armani.
Yeah. So it's like he gave you whatever you wanted, that album gave it to you. So I thought so that's why I'm putting that number three. Number two, Coupe de Grace, I mean, with Ransom. Again, not too many people could keep up with Ransom on tracks, let alone do a whole album. And that goes to show Ransom how he respects Rome Streets and his ability. So that's definitely number two. And number one, I gotta go with Noise Candy 5, man.
Fucking great project.
Great project, bro. I love no. I still listen to Noise Candy 5
That's
to
another
today.
project like
That's what I'm
Kiss the Ring.
saying. Kiss the yeah, like so. I gotta put Noise Candy 5
I
number
think
one for me.
I think
Plus,
one of
like,
my
come on,
favorite Shake and Bake is on that album, and
yeah,
that's probably one of my favorite Rome Street songs
bro.
ever because the way he's able to flow on that
and
ridiculous
and
beat.
find the pockets and just kill it. My shit is stunner with Boldy James and Double D. Fucking oh man, pocket full of beans, black man. Yeah, shake and bake, held backwards. Yeah, that's number one for me.
I'll go with mine next. I'm gonna go with number five with Noise Candy 3 because
That's a good. I was looking at that and I was like, should I put that in there? The overdose.
man, songs with Planet Asia on there. 96 Naughty Windbreaker shit.
Yeah, I about to say that. Yo,
Hard on an Ice
96 Naughty-
Pick with Mooch. Rotten.com featuring Al Davino with that
Al Davino.
ridiculous, disgusting beat. Voodoo.
That beat was stupid.
And this is kind of the project that made me really be like, wow, this guy could fucking rap.
Hmm.
Number four, Kiss the Ring like you said, that like really
Hmm.
solidified him as a top elite MC and kind of
Hmm.
peaked him out of the underground, like that middle,
Right.
right?
Hmm.
Uh, and I think because of that album, it got him to really work with like different. Like he's able to work
Right.
with different
Different.
artists. A lot of other artists
Hmm.
look at him as an elite
Right.
MC, like the Cormegas of the world, and I'm
Hmm.
sure the Method Mans of the
Method
world.
Man's. Yeah.
Number three,
Right.
Death and the Magician, because the way DJ Muggs was able to give you
Hmm.
those West Coast, that grimy, like Cypress Hill Temple of Boom
Hmm.
album sound with Rome
And
Streets on it. And Rome
right.
Streets was a fucking killer on
Yup.
there. Killed those
Killed.
beats.
Killed it.
Like the first time I heard that, I was like, this might be my favorite album of all time. Like the first time I was able to grasp
Mhm.
that whole project, I was like, what
Right.
the fuck?
Hmm.
Um, yeah, and it's just the rollout for that was amazing. Number
Right.
two, Wasn't Built in a Day. Completely produced by Big
Oh, I was
Ghost.
looking
You
at that
forgot
too.
about that, huh?
I didn't forget about that. It was just so hard. Like I said, he got so many good projects. Like wasn't built in a day, man. That's my shit too.
P's and Q's with Method Man.
P's and Q's and Method Man's.
The
Yeah.
first time I heard that song, you could call Malenko right now and ask him, but he's probably busy and he won't answer the phone. I called him and I started screaming on the phone. And he had thought I got into a car accident or something was wrong, but it was because of how ridiculous this song was.
Yeah.
And
Yo,
number one is going to be Head Crack, fully produced by Futurewave.
mm,
Look, I was unfortunate
not
not.
mad at it.
I was unfortunate not to buy this project on the day release that it came out, and it sold out, and I had to
Hmm.
pay $100 for the CD. Okay,
Hmm.
and it came from Japan,
Hmm.
and it took 3 months to get here. The anticipation to get this project, but this album is fucking so amazing. Futurewave was with the landscape that he gave Rome Streets on this. To me, this is like Rome Streets. Like, you want to listen to Rome Street? Give me a what's the one Rome Street album you're gonna give me? I'm gonna make you start off with Headcrack. Why?
Never
Because it's at
had
the
crack.
it's the beginning of his
It's the
of
beginning.
his right, and
And
it's
that's why I put it
just
number five. Yeah, that's why I had it number five. Yeah.
and Futurewave is just
Yeah, this
fucking
Future
the
Wave is
best
just
producer.
phenomenal.
Okay, like
Yeah, like
Sniff.
yo, Future Wave just been getting every time he do something is like his sound progresses and he gets better and better. And I like that whole Canada New York connection,
Amazing.
especially with the producers. Like you got Future Wave, you got fucking what's my man Nicholas Craven. What's my other man name from up there?
There's Ras Fresco, there's
Res
Ason
Fresco. Yes,
Eastwood,
Ace on
there's
Eastwood.
Finn,
Yeah,
there's so many guys, there's Words, there's so many
that's what
guys
I'm
from here, and that
saying. So
connection,
with the
and
New York sound, I like that a lot.
and this album needed to happen because it really kind of like bridged that gap between New York and
Hmm.
Canada, and just songs
Right.
like "NY Do or Die" slogan on here is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Acid Tab featuring Daniel Son, Sniff It Out a C Note, just that beginning is fucking
That's what I'm
crazy.
saying. He even featuring Canada artists that I never heard of. Like being doing that, it made me tap in. Like, okay, and then that's how I found the Ras Frescos and all these other people because I tapped in the Big Ghost and all of these people. So I like that connection because then it brings you to explore these other artists that you
hmm
never knew and shit
Um,
like that.
but getting back to Hatton Garden Holdup, what's your score on 10?
8. It's
Uh,
probably gonna go higher as I listen to it more and more again, but it's 8.
yeah, I'm gonna go with 8 as well.
Hmm.
And I really can't wait to see where it's gonna sit
Right.
uh, on my top list this year. But it keeps getting better and better with every listen. I think they did a a really great project after it going from good to really good
Mhm.
to great.
Great.
Anything else you
Absolutely.
want to add on this one, or we move on?
No, that's it, man. Hadn't gone hold up. If you haven't listened to it yet, go check that out. Rome Street, number one NYC spitter, like I always say. And yeah,
Next album to review. Danielson and Finn
An- another Danielson album.
with Canadian producer Finn. Harebrained Schemes. Let me be the first one to say that Danielson is on a run this year. I think it's one of the best years of his career. The music that he's putting out this year is elite, is amazing, is magnificent. You've seen the growth as an artist this year for Danielson, and I messaged him after I heard this album. I messaged him. I said, "Man, you've been on a run this year. It's one of your best years, if not your best year." And seeing him live, and like I saw him live a couple of years ago, and then I saw him live now, and I just his presence and what he's been able to do and how he's grown in the last couple of years is just it's magnificent to see people like this grow, and how important Danielson is to this culture, to hip hop, to this scene, whatever you want to call it. Okay,
Right.
he is super important. He's a
He is.
pillar in it, and for being able to put Canada on the map and just continuously putting out just solid bodies of work, and for being one of my favorite artists and probably in the top 3 this year, artists,
Yeah,
rappers,
because he
MCs.
got so much shit that came out this year.
And I'm so happy that he linked up once again with Finn. Like I mentioned, Canadian producer. They had an album before this, Dirty Dishes, which
Yeah.
is an amazing project. If you haven't listened to it, go listen to it. But this is great because Finn was able to give him a different style that he did on Dirty Dishes. There's a boom bap sound in here. You see the instrumentations on here. You get some flute. You get some violin. You get some experimental type of tracks. And thank you, Danielson, for finally putting out a song called Missing Teeth. Because every album you always talk about a hooker or a whore or a fiend with
Or
missing
Fiend,
teeth.
Missing
And now
Teeth, yes.
finally we get the Missing Teeth track. Thank you. You made my day on this one. Production flawless, like I mentioned. What I really like about this album is the background sounds.
Yeah,
I don't know if you noticed that.
I did. It kind of gives me, what was that Mickey Diamond album?
There was a lot of Mickey. Death Threats.
No, the one with the sounds in the back. It just came out this year. It's the one before the last one. Fuck.
So go.
Anyways, the song on there, cartoons, the background. That's what that kind of remind me of.
Yes. Well,
cartoons. That beat, and you hear all the shit in the background. Yeah, that's what that reminds me of. On this album.
But this album sounds like I get what you mean. It's those morning cartoons type of sound.
Yes, the sounds. Yes.
Yeah, I get it, and I just love it because there's even those boom bap tracks, like Dance of the Drunken Mantis, amazing. With Danielson flowing on there. Songs, Capital Games with Pro Dillinger.
And
Fuck. Lord Juco on Chalk Brothers.
I like Sharon Needles with Mooch.
Oh, is it me
Bro,
or
I love
Mooch is the feature that's able to twist the album and put it into a different fucking dimension sound.
I know,
like
right?
It's like the whole album you're getting lyricism, you're getting Danielson being able to play on these different styles of beats, and then you get the song with Mooch and it's like fuck, I feel like I'm doing heroin and there's a needle sticking out of my arm.
I love when I get a sneak Mooch feature because he kills it all the time. Him and Riggs, yo. Like every time I get a Riggs and Mooch feature, I'm always glad to hear that. I'm always glad, bro.
The world needs a Riggs and Mooch album again.
Yeah, this time.
Those two together are missed. I can't wait till Riggs drops his Samples 3 album. But like amazing songs on here. He has Family Gang Black on here. He has Lord Juco, Canadian artists. If nobody's listened to these two Canadian artists, they've put out great project. Lord Juco, a huge soccer fan. He does Death at the Derby albums. There's so much great stuff on this album. It's something that you need to go in and dig and really listen to it for what it is, and you'll be able to find and all these kind of, not Easter eggs, but stuff in here that we're kind of trying to explain to you, but we can't really come across it because you need to hear what we're saying. But it's just a flawless project, man. Just a flawless project, and having these two come together again is just amazing. Iron Leash is probably my favorite song with Family Gang Black.
He went in on that.
Yeah. And and Danielson is always that artist that's gonna make you want to wear a hoodie all the time you listen to his music because it feels like it's cold outside.
Yeah, when I listen to him in the gym, this album I listen to in the gym too.
You just live in the gym lately, huh? I've noticed from you.
Yeah, that's it, man. That's what I do every day.
The cover art on here is just fucking
Love it.
fantastic. Who did the cover art?
I don't know.
But the cover art's amazing.
It's amazing.
Here, I'm gonna tell it to you like this: look at the cover art, but look at the cover art throughout your whole listen of the album. That's basically what the album is.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. What are your standout tracks on here?
Okay, my standout tracks: Capital Gains, the first track, Femoral, Chalk Brothers, Sharon Needles, of course, Iron Leash. Those are my standouts.
Here, I just figured out what you could do to this album. If you want to take edibles or you want to take fucking shrooms or whatever, take those and then go listen to this album. It'll paint you a fucking different picture. I can guarantee you. If I did any of those things, I would probably listen to this album.
Me too.
So on 10?
8.
Yeah, I'm gonna
8
go
for
with
me.
8 also. 8 also.
8 for me.
It's again something that we'll see where it ends up in the next couple of months, but it's just so much replay value from this and anything
Right.
that Danielson puts out.
Yeah, him and that last Futurewave album he put out not too long ago.
Bushman Bodega.
Yeah, I still listen to that. That's what I'm saying. It's like when I'm not listening to new stuff, because new stuff comes out all the time. Like it's so much stuff that you can't even cover. Like we didn't even cover the Conway and 38 Special, or who was that? Somebody else. I think it was Ransom.
You drunk?
No,
Conway and 38 Special? No, Conway and Ransom. We did. I did.
Yes, we did. Oh, yes, you did. Yes, you did. I forgot.
Yeah.
But 38 Special and somebody else.
Benny the Butcher coming out
something.
this
Yeah,
Friday.
coming out. Yes, that's coming out this Friday.
Yeah, that's something that there's a lot of songs on there too. So
Yeah,
it's gonna. I'm speaking of that album before we move on to the main event of the evening. Speaking of that album, I am super excited, like a 12-year-old going to his first wrestling event. What they're gonna be able to put together, because those two when they link up is just next level. And their first stabbed and shot was fucking.
That first stabbed and shot was so crazy.
I almost bought a gun. I literally almost bought a gun when that came out, and a knife, and the fucking first song with Styles P and Jada Kiss.
I feel you. That's funny.
So
It'll do that to you. It'll do that to you. That I'm telling you, when I listen to Conway the Machine, sometimes I just want to go. It just make me just want to, you know what I mean? I was listening to 94 Ghost shit again today, and I'm just like, oh my god,
violence is necessary.
Yo, I don't know who's more grimy. I know we're gonna get into him or Pro Dillinger. Yo, when you talk about griminess, I just be like, bro, they be talking that grimy shit, son.
So we're getting into the main event of the evening.
The main event of the evening.
The new Pro Dillinger and Futurewave DIRTWAVE Volume 1. When you see a
Again,
Volume 1,
Futurewave.
when
Yo,
you
how long has Futurewave? What we got to go back and think of the amount of projects that we like that Futurewave did this year. Has Futurewave been on one of those runs this year?
every year Futurewave puts out anywhere between 3 and 4 projects, okay?
Right. But I
And
feel like lately, every time we've been talking about somebody, it's been the Futurewave project.
it was
I'm with them featuring with Futurewave.
it was a bit slower last year for him, so I think this
Right.
year there's a lot more coming out. But if you look at Futurewave, the producer, he takes his time with his projects. Okay,
Yeah.
look, I'll say it right now, and anybody can come on this and argue with me, and argue in the comments, and argue with me on Instagram, and whatever the hell you want to argue. Futurewave is the best producer out right now, and he has been. There's
I'm not arguing it.
nobody that puts out elite production. I would maybe throw in there Superior. I would probably. Who else can we put in there? We could put
I
in a
would throw
couple
in
of
there
more.
Big goals. I would throw
Yeah.
in Big goals.
But Futurewave gives
The
you.
Futurewave is just. I would throw in Wavy to God.
Look, Trap. You
But
could take
Futurewave-
any artist and
No, I
get
agree
them
with you.
and get that artist to get the project completely produced by Futurewave, and it will fucking be phenomenal. And the reason
mad at
being, and
Mhm.
and we're gonna talk about it with the Pro Dillinger and Futurewave DIRTWAVE Volume 1. And yes, there is a Volume 2, because when somebody puts out a Volume 1, there's a Volume 2 right after.
You already know.
The production and the ear that Futurewave has, he produces the artist. The artist needs to be able to let him produce him.
Mhm.
Okay?
I can't wait to get that Futurewave and Mickey Diamond.
Okay? It's
project.
probably gonna come. There's so many artists I want to work with this guy, but
Mhm.
like this year, like, and we'll get into, like, he did the Estenac, he did the
That's what I'm
Daniel Son.
saying.
Last year
Daniel
he did the Ito. But I was
Son.
so happy when Pro Dillinger was on the Abyss podcast and he mentioned that he was coming out with projects with Futurewave. And man, this DIRTWAVE Volume 1 is
Didn't
just
disappoint. Didn't disappoint.
it's not that it didn't disappoint. Right now, Pro Dillinger has been on a.
Oh yeah, he's on one of the best runs.
It is the best
Yo.
run. It is the best run this year. You know what? If there's anybody that he needs to go up against neck and neck for the run,
It's probably
is
probably Bodie James.
no, absolutely not. It's Danielson. If you're gonna put
Oh,
two
yeah,
people up
Danielson.
against each other in a steel cage match in a Hell in the Cell, it's
Nah, it gotta
going.
be a three-way, and it gotta be Bodie James too,
It-
because Bodie James with Nicholas Craven, the Conductor project. Yo, he dropped some good projects this year too.
But what Pro Dillinger is doing, and the people that he's working in, the producers that he's working with, and the type of albums that he's giving you, like, just look at what he did with Reasonable Dirt. Like, Reasonable Dirt was my number
I love
one
Reasonable
project.
Dirt.
Okay, he was able to paint you a picture, pain, anger, love. He gave you everything all combined in one. It was just, and to this day I still listen to it, and I think it's just fucking great. Okay,
It is.
but look, he's been on a crazy run. Futurewave's been on a crazy run, and for these two of my favorite artists be able to link up together, to me, makes me happy. I get excited, like
too.
I'm like a kid in a candy store,
That's
or
awesome.
at the toy store, finding my favorite wrestler on the shelf. It's exciting, and when I heard that they were gonna get together and put out a project, I was ecstatic. And we're gonna get into the songs. We're gonna get into it, but sonically, the way this album sounds, and I just want to give a big shout out to Pro Dillinger, because I had the opportunity to listen to this album a couple of months ago. Okay, Pro sent me the tracks. Okay,
Nice. And you
and
ain't even say nothing. Nice.
and I was honored that he did this. And look, I'm that type of guy that I want to listen to the album on release date. I'm the one who's excited to listen to it and be like, wow, okay, this is the new album, let's get into it. But he sent it to me, and I listened to it, and we were having a conversation back and forth, and I told him, man, this is probably one of your best albums and one of your best produced albums. And I gave
It is.
him a top 5
Mm-hmm.
of his projects, and
Mm-hmm.
he told me, he's like, look, the songs aren't even sequenced in that order yet. And I was like, wait,
Mm.
hold on a second. You're telling me that the songs that you sent me are not in order? And he's like, no. And I'm like, fuck. How does it sonically already sound this
Mm-hmm.
great together and this well produced, and the track list and everything is not in order yet? I'm like, it already sounds
Mm-hmm.
perfect. What is it going to sound when I get it in the order? And the order I
Right.
have it on release date versus what I listen to is totally different, man. And I'm telling you, when I listened to it, I was like, fuck, look at the songs going into one another. And it wasn't even that. And now I get it. The vision that they both had, and the how they were able to put this project together and be able to give us this piece of art, this piece of work, and the rollout that they've been doing with it, it makes so
Right.
much more sense to me. Like, there's a vision. Pro Dillinger has a vision when he puts out his project, and we spoke about singles before.
You
Like,
hate them.
and I'm somebody that doesn't like so much given to me, but Pro Dillinger and Futurewave did it the proper way.
Of
Like,
course.
it's the single with Danielson, No Loyalty. It's the artwork. It's
I
so
love the artwork.
strategically put together that it makes you get invested. The video, something else that they gave us.
Mm-hmm.
It just makes the album a whole, and makes it what it is. And I'm telling you, man, sonically, and how Still Here goes into Summer Smoke, into Gunplay, into Magic, and the way it was produced and mixed and mastered, man, it makes it just so much better. These dudes don't go into making an album just to make an album. They go into making a body of work that needs to stand out.
Mm-hmm.
And the way they did this with this is just next level. Next level. What's your first take on this?
Off the first track, the first listen, I was like, oh, he's taking it there. When I heard the first track, first of all, can we talk about the beauty of the skits? I
Mm-hmm.
love when certain artists bring skits back, but they make sense.
Strategic.
Love the strategic. So I love the skits for this project because they make sense because it ties into the songs. Not only that, but that very first song off the rip, I'm like, oh yeah, I know where we going. We about to go. From just the beat and then just him, just here we go. This is what I'm doing to y'all. And he just went off on it. And I'm like, okay, I got
Futurewave.
it. I see where we going.
Futurewave. What is that sample that you use on Still Here? It sounds like a chandelier. It sounds, I don't know, it could be a piano. I don't know, it
It's
could be a
something.
flute. What is it? Because that is the perfect song to start off an album with. Perfect. Perfect.
Perfect. Perfect.
Still Here. Like we mentioned, best way to start it off. Best
way to
best
start it
intro.
off.
Probably best intro of the year. Then going
You
into
said
Summer
that.
Smoke.
I seen you said that earlier. You said that might be the best intro of the year.
Summer Smoke, Meet the Bad Guy, with the melody, with the singing. It really balances off the song. And I love that. And Pro Dillinger going into a different direction with that singing melody. It kind of breaks the song apart where it gives you such a balanced structure to what he's trying to do. The beat, not heavy. It's that background, and the sound is so crisp, and the instrumentation that Futurewave is using is so crisp. You hear it, okay? Nothing overpowers itself. This is why it's
No.
so important to be produced. This is why it's so important to put the effort in mixing and mastering, and this is what a vision does to the song. Next song on here, Gunplay.
Gunplay. Oh, I was about to say that. That's one of my standout tracks, Gunplay.
Great song. Great song. Again, amazing choruses. Magic. Probably my favorite standout track on here.
Mm-hmm.
Magic is great. No Loyalty featuring
No, Louis
Danielson.
Danielson.
Great
Yo,
song.
Danielson. Yo, they've been on the road, bro. I'm trying to tell you, the last since like 2020, I want to say, I honestly, I'm glad that I'm able to witness the run of Pro Dillinger, Mickey Diamond, Danielson, Bodie James. Like from like 2018, 2019 to now, they have not let me down with what they've been doing.
Hmm.
And it's like it's just beautiful to watch and to see how they progress from that time to now and how the music just gets better and better. And then you listen to one thing and they be like, how did they top that? And then they top it. Bro, like I said, it's just been one of those. It's just great to see artists at kind of, I want to say, not the beginning, but when they're hitting that stride
Hmm.
and they just going. And it's like, so I'm just grateful that I'm able to witness that. Like, it's just something beautiful to witness with those,
Absolutely.
with those, with those specific artists that I mentioned.
Um, Target Him featuring Bloquito.
Mm-hmm.
Another great song. Flower.
Back home
Talk about
with
Flower first.
Smarty. Okay.
Talk about Flower first. I love that this type of song that breaks up the album right in the middle and being able to give you a different direction, but still giving you that intense, grimy.
Right.
And this is how smart artists are, like Pro Dillinger. He's not gonna give you that whole intensity and talk about the same thing throughout his album. He's gonna be able to break it up and give you a different imagery, different direction, a different scenario. And Flower is a standout track for me. The first time I heard it, I was like, "Fuck! How is he gonna put this on his album? Where is he gonna put this on his album?" And it fit perfectly where it is. Back Home, featuring Snotty, the Steiner brothers.
Yeah. I
No,
love when the Steiner brothers get together.
we'll talk about two perfectly balanced artists that complete each
Hmm.
other.
Absolutely.
This is why Steiner Brothers was one of the best projects of last year.
Yeah, we had that on our list last year. Absolutely.
Say So and Power Tripping. Power Tripping, amazing way to finish the album, and the reason being is because it leaves you with a cliffhanger of like, okay, fuck, these are 10 songs. What's next? What are they going to be able to give us next that's going to stand out?
Yeah, what's gonna be on volume 2 that they
Right?
can give us that's top this? But they probably will because we always say that. Like, how are you gonna top this? And then somehow they do it.
Um, but again, just perfection across the board. Like, to me, it's like, what else are these guys able to bring to us? What else can they give us? If this sounds as good as it sounds, what else are they able to give us? And I sit with albums for a long time before I'm able to review them. I'm not that guy. We're not that podcast that's gonna listen to the album once and then give you a score and a review, and it makes absolutely no sense. Like, we sit with this stuff, and I'm honored to be able to sit with an album like this and be able to really. It was kind of like putting the pieces of the puzzle together and getting this body of work that was handed to us. This, to me, probably one of his best projects, if not his best project.
It's not his best piece of work.
Yeah, and
That's tough. Because he
and
got a lot of good projects, man.
and Futurewave, man. Hearing Pro Dillinger on experimental beats, I'm gonna go ahead and say this is experimental. The way that Futurewave plays with the sound, the way that Futurewave gives him different instrumentations or background noises. We spoke about that in the different artists, like the Finn, when Finn was producing background noises. This is Futurewave is brilliant at doing that, and that's what makes his album stand out. They don't sound like anything else that's coming out. That's why people work with him. So, like, this is great. What's your score on 10?
9 for me.
I'm going.
Like you said, this might be his best work, and I agree because it just sounds so polished and put together. And I feel like Futurewave is one of those producers when you lock in, he's gonna give you something that's gonna bring out it all of you. And like I said, just the way he started off the first track alone, I was like, oh, I know where we going. I see where this album is taking us, and I'm here for the ride. Another one I've been listening to in the gym.
Yeah, I listen to it everywhere. I sat with it. I drive
sat
in
with
it. Super important project of the year, believe it or not. It's a very important project, and I think that everybody needs to listen to it. And if people that don't like this project, I'll be honest with you, there's a lot of earwax in your ears. You might be deaf. You might be stupid. You might not shouldn't be listening to this fucking style of music. I'm gonna go ahead and give it a 9.5. Yep.
Nice.
I said a 9.5. Man, balance. That's all. That's what this gives you. Complete balance. So we said we were gonna do our top 5 future waves.
We did, right? Yeah.
Top 5 future waves.
Spot, man. Futurewave got so much.
The thing with you is I prep you a week in advance and you still don't come prepared.
No, I am prepared. It's just a lot. Because then I'm looking at other stuff and then it's like, damn, maybe I forgot about that one.
So my first list had.
Your first list. See, that's what I'm saying.
I did 2 lists for Futurewave. Okay? See? And I'll be honest with you. I'm going based off production and sound. I'm not going based off the MC. Or else it becomes too hard and it's almost impossible to be able to do it. I'm going off sound. Okay? I'm going to go first on this one since you're absolutely not ready.
I'm ready. Go ahead.
Okay. I'm going to go with number 5. I'm going to go with Bite the Bullet. Asan Eastwood and Danielson, Bite the Bullet. It's a great sound for their second project together. I just loved how viciously grimy and disgusting it was. And it had that boom bap energy sound in there. And what they were able to do on this type of beat. Number 4, I'm going to go with Stone Temple Pyrex. Because to be able to produce Estee Knack and the way he flows could be very difficult.
It can be.
Because he has a unique flow and sound.
Unique style, everything.
So that's going to be number 4. Number 3 is going to be Yanel Douchy. Probably top 3 best Danielson projects, maybe 4. And the sound to this was just because they put out so many projects together that you're like, okay, what's the next sound? Yanel Douchy just fucking killed everything. Again, experimental type of beats, a lot of sound in the background. I'm going to go with number 2. I'm gonna go with DIRTWAVE, Volume 1. Okay. Again, we explained it on this whole thing. Balance, experimental type beats. Futurewave, if you're listening, please just message me and tell me what that fucking sample or beat you used on the first song still here. And number 1, I'm going to go with Head Crack. Right now, Head Crack is here, and right under it is DIRTWAVE. So it could kick it right off.
I'm not mad at it.
You?
All right. So my top Danielson albums. I said Danielson, Futurewave. See? I'm thinking about Danielson. That's why.
Pause.
Pause. All right, but so number 5, I'm going with Mr. 1008 with Boldy James. I like the way he produced Boldy James. because it was a different sound form, and Boldy James was able to keep up with it, and I love that because Boldy James is usually he sounds his best on those soulful samples and stuff like that. So to get this from Futurewave, I thought was good. So that's number 5. Number 4, I'm going with Dead Poets, Ito and Futurewave. Bro, I don't know what it is about the production on this, but he brought something out of Ito that made Ito sound so good that I really enjoyed.
Ito's great across the board, though.
Ito is great. Yeah, he is. So I thought that was great. So I put that number 4. Number 3, I'm going with Bushman Bodega, man. Bushman Bodega, man. I love that album. I just love Danielson on it. Again, another top 5 Futurewave project for me because that Stone Cold beat on there and that what's the other song? The other single he put out, So Cold. Those beats are so cold. So I gotta go with that. And then number 2, I'm going with McFly.
Huh, I like that.
I'm going with McFly, man. That production on there is really underrated on there, I feel like. But I thought it was really good. So I like McFly. And then I'm going with Razor's Edge.
Wow.
Number 1. I'm going with Razor's Edge. If you got to do the top 5 Futurewave.
What last thing I'm gonna say about Futurewave is that none of his sounds. He has his specific
sounds, but
But
I know
he
what you're about to say.
doesn't have a sound.
He- right.
He's able to give the artist different styles.
Right.
Just look at what he did with Pro Dillinger. I haven't heard this type of beats from him.
That's what I'm saying.
So yeah, DIRTWAVE Volume 1, Futurewave, Pro Dillinger. What else came out? Real quick, I have a fucking bunch of lists that we didn't do reviews for.
Word, there's so much shit. What else came out?
Estee Nack, Systematically, We Were Never Free. Fucking another great project from Estee Nack. Produced by Bone.
Kid and Von D.
Yeah, the Estee Nack though was produced by Bone Wesso, and to me is probably in the top 3-4 Estee Nack projects. You said Willie the Kid and V Don.
Yeah, V Don.
Dutch Marks 4. I'm gonna say, I'm gonna be honest with that project. I really enjoyed that project. I think it could be one of their best projects that they've put out together. V Don and Willie the Kid.
Yeah, V Don, yeah.
The way it's mixed and mastered and the sound to it is really off. Like you get the first song where it feels like it's crisp. It feels like it's well mixed and mastered and polished. And then the song right after, I find that the sound just completely drops from like a level 10 to like a level 4. And whether you're listening to it in headphones or you're listening to it in your car, you got to put the volume up. Like you're playing with volumes. And I don't know, maybe the wrong mix came out or whatnot, or it just wasn't completely polished and finished, but the levels are off there. Like you'll get song 1, then song 2, 3 are completely low. Then song 4 is back to level 10, the song with Alchemist, and then it gets back low again. I feel like there's a bit more work to put in with the sound, but if they get the sound to where it needs to be, and each song has the same exact balance and levels, this is probably one of their best projects. But I can't go listening to an album and fucking I gotta put up the volume.
I know what you mean. It's not mixed right.
Yeah, exactly. The sound levels aren't right, and I'm kind of surprised with this because those are two very good artists that are very like their music when it comes out. It's very well put together. So I'm kind of like maybe it's the wrong version that came out. But and it's a good project. It's a really good project, and like I mentioned, it could be one of their bests. What did you think of it?
I didn't listen to that yet. That's what I'm saying. A lot of stuff came out, but that's just something that I seen that came out. But I haven't listened to it yet. We got a Dom Kennedy album.
Yes,
95. I didn't listen to that yet.
That came out. I briefly listened to it. I love Dom Kennedy.
Me too. That's why when I seen it, I'm like, oh shit. But I didn't listen to that yet. Then we got a Currency album. I'm like, is this the mixtape era? Like, what are we in? We got a mix. We got a Currency album. Um, El Camino got an album. Who
Fuck.
else? 1-2 got a single.
You and
Ab
your
Soul
singles, you'll
got a
be
single.
if you go to with all the trap singles, we'll be here till probably Wednesday morning, and we're recording on a Monday. Vega 7 and Ayo
Yeah,
Shamir,
and Ayo
Griots of the
yeah.
Third Rail came
Mhm.
out. It's only available on Bandcamp.
Yeah, I'm out.
This is Vega 7's most personal album. He really dives deep pause into like a bit more personal items and him as an MC and how people portray him. And I just found it was a really well put together project, and Ayo Shamir gives him some really good beats that we haven't ever heard Vega 7 on type beats.
Mhm.
And Vega comes with the fucking double, triple, quadruple sidekick entendres off the top rope style. Talking about in one of the songs, he was talking about Cain and Abel, but he brought it into Brothers of Destruction that went into Vince McMahon. That kind of tied it into the Tombstone and Fire for Cain. So it's like
I listen
fucking
to that now. See, please flip. Yeah, that sound hard.
and
Especially when you like wrestling. Yeah.
yeah, because he has some of the best wrestling bars, if not the best wrestling bars. And Big Trip and Jamil Honestly Filthy Part 2 came out.
Part 2. I didn't listen to that yet neither. It's so much shit. That's what I'm saying. It's so much stuff that I gotta listen to, bro.
And there's a whole bunch
Not
of
enough time in the day to listen to, because I want to listen to it and really take it in. I don't want to just skim through it. I
no,
like to listen to it, sit
no.
with it. So
And
between that, trying to watch wrestling,
and you going to the gym
yeah, then trying to watch porn, I can't help it.
and buying
There's not enough
V-necks,
time. Yeah, you know,
because
the
your
V-neck
V-neck
mode.
game is you are on a different level with your V-neck game. If you open up your drawers, you probably just have V-necks. I've never seen you in another T-shirt. I gave you a free T-shirt for the podcast. You've never seen you wear it. You wear the fucking V-neck instead.
You gotta make it a V-neck.
I'm gonna make you a V-neck. You better fucking wear it.
Make me a V-neck, and then I need the sweatshirt too. I need the sweatshirt, all black.
And the last album that came out on Friday is Feed the Family, Zing Language.
Zing Language.
Let me tell you, to the people that listen to the podcast, whether you like it or not, this fucking Feed the Family Zing Language album is fucking amazing. If there's a review that comes out of it, I don't want to hear anything. I don't want people to break down the songs. I just wanted to say Feed the Family Zing Language, fucking amazing. It's just fucking great. I think I listened to it in a day, back to back, 4 or 5 times. It's just so great. And I saw these guys live, and I was actually on the EVA show with Pro Dillinger the same day I saw Pro Dillinger, Snotty, Mickey Diamond. These guys fucking tore up the stage. It was fucking great. The energy was crazy. Did you listen to it?
I didn't listen to that yet either.
Well,
that's what I'm saying. There's a lot of stuff, man. I can't get to it. I gotta get to it. So much stuff, man.
Okay,
between that, wrestling, like I said, it's too much. Yo, Rhea Ripley's amazing, man.
This is why we can't record on Mondays, because your eyes are on the TV. So let's get the fuck up out of here.
I just looked at it. I just turned it on just now because I thought it went off already. Because it's like 57.
Oh yeah, it's true. Raw is only 2 hours.
2 hours now.
Okay.
I just turned the TV back on.
So before we get up out of here, please, if you like what we talk about, if you want to give your score on the albums we reviewed, if you want to tell us other albums to listen to, or tell us we suck, or we're horrendous at what we do, or tell us we're phenomenal, and that Trap V-neck game is on point, please do so in the comments. Please like and subscribe and like. Trap, anything else you want to add?
Nothing. I just really hope that you guys like what we present to you. We bring you nothing but the best wrestling, hip hop, stuff. We just guys that like to give us honest opinions on things and music that we like, that we feel like people should be hearing and enjoy. And that's all. And
And
that's it, man.
and one super important thing before we get up out of here, please don't listen to the album once or half of once and think it's all right to give it a score with no
Mhm.
explanation. Please, we're here to support the culture. We don't want to see people review albums and give it a bad score and then don't
Mhm.
explain it. We don't want to hear that. There's no point. You're just downgrading the artist or the project or the album when you do that. Look, if you don't like it, that's fine, but just give us a brief explanation on the why. We just want to know the why so that when somebody goes and checks it out, doesn't get turned off by the score,
Mm.
but has also something, a base to look at and be like, oh, he didn't like it, or she didn't like it, or they didn't like it because this and this.
Mhm.
More explanation. We're here to support the culture. We're here to push these artists forward into a different direction so they can get
Right.
the recognition and the flowers that they deserve, because the energy that they put out and the amount of music that we get is just amazing, and we are so lucky to be able to be in this day and age where we're getting all this music. I remember where I used to beg and dig and try and find music and different artists and newer artists. It's not the case now. There's so
It's
many
not the
great
case.
artists coming out, and look at
It
just what
is.
happened with Ka, unfortunately, who passed away. You know,
Right.
his music is gonna live forever, and we want all these artists to
Mhm.
music to live forever, whether we like it or not. We're able to break it down and give you our best knowledge what this body of work, what this album, what this artist is being able to give it to us. So
Mhm.
let's not downgrade them. Let's explain the why, and let's also praise when the praise needs to be given.
Yep.
And if you're not down with that, I think we got 2 words for you, okay? And bomb Mars now, because this is probably my favorite shirt ever. And
Word for you. Like and subscribe.
peace.
Peace.
Oh yes, and Malenko, please come back. We miss you. Your time management, you need to get that on point.
Right.
I'm kidding. Peace.
Peace.